Good morning from the office. We're North Georgia's only live online morning show. I'm your host, BKP, the voice of rural America. Glad to be here. It is Tuesday. You know, I moved some things around. Sam was saying, you got to either move some stuff around, move the computer, get a higher chair. I mean, she gets all over there and wants everything to look good. So I thought I would move things around. Is that better? Is that better, Sam?
Yes.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
I mean, because God, that's what we want to make sure, because you said that I was so short they couldn't see me over the computer, right?
No, that's not what I said. I said your table was too tall.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought it was the other way around. Anyhow, and here's another thing. Sam absolutely loves when I start the show and say I don't know what direction I'm really going to go in this morning, because I send her like 40 pictures a day or 30 pictures a day, and she likes it when I say I don't know what direction I'm going in. First of all, let me go over a couple of local things. Welcome to Good Morning from the Office. We're in Ellijay, Georgia. We're in North Georgia, and we call ourselves the voice of rural America because, you know, we just believe here that what Donald Trump did, and did very well, was connected with rural America, and we try to highlight some of those things every single day here, and we try to get out of the big city, you know, where Chicago and New York, and we really, you know, don't have a whole lot in our area for guys like a Bill de Blasio. You know, they just don't fit in around here, or a Bloomberg. Some of them just don't fit in rural America. So anyhow, a little bit about my day. I want to give a shout out talking about rural America. I love family business. And before I get my day going, I went up yesterday a 200-page open record request in Union County. I have a lot of reading material here. Everybody around the office thought I just disappeared, which I did for the whole afternoon. I went up there, had a couple of meetings in Union County. You know, a lot surrounding that Union County Hospital and the indictment of doctors and so on and so forth. So we're looking at that. If you've watched the show for quite some time, every once in a while I'll pick something. I like to, for some reason, read all these legal documents. State of Georgia this, Union General Hospital and Union County Nursing Home, Secretary of State this. 200-page open record request yesterday. Boy, I got a lot of reading material. But here's the shout out I want to give. I stopped in. I needed a copy of this for our reporter up there in Union County, Mark Smith, and you can read his stuff. Union and Towns County. Mark is really starting to put a lot of information on our website. If you'll go to fetchernews.com, and look at Union County, click on Union and Towns. Mark's really putting a lot of stuff up there, from Board of Education to commissioners to several other things in that area is growing for us. But I stopped in to make some copies. I said, where can I make some copies? And I stopped in to the Busy Bee Printing and Signs Company there in Blairsville. I want to give them a shout out. And I'm actually going to give you, it's busybeeprintingandsigns@gmail.com. Husband and wife are in this shop, and it's just a old-fashioned sign and print shop. Show them my new friend up there I met, Samson. So I got to meet Samson yesterday. Find Samson. This is Samson. He's the friendly dog there. He's remember the movie Turner and Hooch? Well, that's Samson, and he is a French Mastiff, exact replica there of the Turner and Hooch. And that's the gate that keeps Samson. So I took a picture on the other side. So all you have to do is tell Samson you want to take a picture. He comes right over, he'll pose and everything. But anyhow, I started talking to Samson, and he just started, I mean, he went for that gate and just started growling or barking, and it, you know, made me a little nervous. And the owner said, no, you said you wanted to have a conversation with Samson. He wants to talk. So it's a big baby there. Sorry, Samson, I'm not calling you big baby on TV, but that's my new friend from Busy Bee Printing and Sign. But what I really wanted to highlight, because this is all over America, and you know, while they're talking about Sally Yates and Michael Flynn, and while they're talking about Russia and the dossier and who unmasked Michael Flynn to the Washington Post. I understand all that, and we like to follow that here. But when we talk about Obamacare, and we talk about small business, and we talk about rural America, and we talk about we talk about the things that are hurting small business in this country. I walked in this printing shop, and the husband is doing the printing. Nice guy, all right? He's doing the printing, and the wife is doing computer work. They print blueprints. And I asked her, I said, how long has this shop been here? Third generation. His grandparents gave it to his parents. His parents gave it to him and his wife. He's been there for 30 years, about 10 years ago. So get out and get connected with small business, and you'll find out really what's going on in this country. So one more shout out to Busy Bee Printing. Thank you very much yesterday. I just enjoyed that. That made my day, because that's what I try to do, is every day find something that keeps me connected to the rural Georgia. Okay, now last night, one other thing before Carla's Corner here at 8:30, because we have a lot going on. We're going to talk about Sally Yates, and we're going to talk about all the things. We have Carla's Corner at 8:30, but last night, wherever you're at, if you're in Texas, if you're in Connecticut, well, you could be in rural Connecticut. People don't realize you can be actually in a rural area in Connecticut. No matter where you're at in rural America, what is your internet like? Now, I'm going to jump into this. I'm not very happy with rural internet connection in Georgia. Now, I don't know what it's like for you in North Carolina. I don't know what it's like for you in, maybe middle Pennsylvania. There's a lot of rural areas in this country. And, I want to say that I want you to look at something. I want you to start looking at something, all you investigators out there. There is a thing called, and I didn't look it up this morning, but I went to a meeting last night, and there's a thing called the Rural Connect America, okay? And we put the federal government, let me just say this. I went to a meeting last night. Show me, how many of those pictures did I have? Did I two? Show me one of them there, just any one there, Sam. This is a guy that's signing up to get involved in a lawsuit against TDS Telecom, all right? There's been lawsuits against Windstream, and this one's against TDS Telecom in North Georgia. Show me the other one. Stay on that one. Just leave that behind me while I do my report here. There's about 80 people showed up last night. But here's what I find out, okay? And I don't know this, and I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I have asked, we continue to ask Georgia, our state, what are you going to do about rural internet, okay? Telecommunications, rural internet in these areas, because our children, okay, the teachers give them homework assignments, and part of the homework assignment is to go home, go on the internet and research something. They'll give them a research item. So it teaches them to go and how to do research on the internet. I mean, we used to get homework assignments, I mean, back in the old days, right, when we went home and we did research in the World Book Encyclopedia. Lord, anybody remember that, right? World Book Encyclopedia or Encyclopedia Britannica. So anyhow, that's how, we used to learn to do our research. But anyhow, you hear so many stories of the kids that can't do their homework and can't get their information they need because of the internet so slow and the connections are so poor in rural America. And everybody keeps asking Georgia what they are going to do, and obviously your state has a part in this because your state has regulations. Every state has utilities regulations, okay? And you have what's called, I want you to take the time when you get a chance to look this up. It's called Rural Connect America, okay? And the federal government put a lot of money. I don't want to say billions yet, okay? I don't want to say billions until I look it up. But I mean, they put a lot of money into Rural Connect America, where your EMCs, your telecommunication companies could take advantage of getting this in rural America, getting grants out of this money, okay, to offer, upgrade, and fix the internet in your rural areas. Now, what I find out, and I'm going to go deeper into this story. This is the tip of the story. What I find out, and I hadn't paid attention to it too much, but what I found out was there's a lot of these telecommunication companies that are getting enormous amount of money through the Rural Connect America, but they're not upgrading their systems. Now, I got this story last night, okay? I got into this story last night, so what I want to be cautious of is I want to be cautious not to start too far in without my facts. Now, my understanding that Blue Ridge EMC, no matter where you're at out there, this is a story for you because you're in rural America and we need good internet connection. And here's what I'm finding out is somehow, some way, if your provider, okay, if your provider is telling you that they can't afford, all right, to provide you better internet connection, if they can't run fiber to your house because you live in such a rural area, if they tell you all of these things that the costs are too high, something is wrong with that picture. Because Blue Ridge EMC, I understand, has gotten money from Rural Connect America, I think, okay? And my understanding last night from this meeting, from just some people there that I got to do some research, all of Blue Ridge EMC customers have fiber right to their house. And they have what's called a 50-50. And I'm serious? I'm thinking, how can Blue Ridge EMC in Union County and the rural areas they cover, because they cover rural areas, afford? How could they afford to provide their customers with fiber internet, fiber optic internet? And we don't even get it here in Gilmer County. I mean, we don't get fiber optic internet. It's available in areas, but there's no investment for it. How did Blue Ridge EMC do this? How come Windstream over in Dahlonega and over in Winder, I guess wherever they're at, in these rural areas, why can Windstream not provide this internet coverage? Why can ETC not get fiber to your house? Why not? I don't know. Why can't TDS? How did Blue Ridge EMC get fiber to their customers? Now, here's the thing I want to give you real quick because it's interesting that this came together, and I'm going to tell you a little more about this before we go to break. And I consider this news because it's time. Your tax money has gone into Rural Connect America, okay? Connect America, and I know Congressman Doug Collins has worked to try to correct the issues or to have discussions with Windstream, okay? Windstream has thousands of lawsuits against them. We had a bill in the Senate, a Senate bill here in Georgia that went nowhere. And it's almost like, why can't we make this happen? Because it can. All of the it can't is gone. You got it? All of the it can't. Well, we can't do that in your area. We can't do that in your area. There's no funding for this. There's no funding for that. That's a lie. That is an out-and-out lie. There is millions of dollars that have been accessed, millions, by these telecommunication companies, by these EMCs, and by other people like Windstream that did not use it to upgrade your speed on your internet or your ability, okay? We broadcast right here in Ellijay, Georgia, and I cannot connect fiber here at an affordable price. I can't do it but they can in Blue Ridge EMC in a rural area. So yesterday I met with, let's just put it out there. Let's just go with it, okay? Our reporter, FetcherNews.com in Union County, has Windstream at his home, okay? Windstream. So he went and videoed a meeting, because we do that here at FetcherNews.com. He went and videoed a meeting, and he started and uploaded his house at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. He left it uploading. The next morning, it was like at 3%. I mean, 10 hours later, it was 3%, 12%. 3%, 12 hours later. It just would never work. One video. So yesterday, Mark and I met in Blairsville, and he said, a friend of mine has a restaurant over here, and they have Wi-Fi. So it's just a restaurant with Wi-Fi in Blairsville, Georgia, rural America. Okay? So we run over to this restaurant, we sit down, we get on their Wi-Fi, we take a 40-minute video, 40-minute video, and we zip it up like in 12 minutes. Now, if you've ever uploaded 40 minutes worth of video, sometimes it can take 2 hours on some internet, hour and a half. We zip this thing up, and so the owner of the restaurant comes over, introduces herself. I said hello, so FetcherNews.com. And I said, your internet's amazing. Like, do you have extra or any? She said, no, it's Blue Ridge EMC. We have what's called 50/50. We have fiber. And the restaurant owner also has TDS in Fannin County where she lives. But all of Blue Ridge EMC, they have fiber. So anyhow, the point is, rural America, and I took some notes last night, and we're going to get further into this. There was 80 people, as you can see in the picture, and there's an attorney, Dustin J. Kettle. Dustin J. Kettle, the attorney there, is, they had a room of 80. 2 weeks ago, they had, on Pickens County, down in Pickens, they had about 70 2 Saturdays ago at a meeting there about TDS. Now they had about 80 last night. I want to give a shout out to Christy Petrilla for organizing this meeting last night. Christy Petrilla organized this meeting last night, and there was about 80 in the room. And at FetcherNews.com, let me tell you this. Throughout the years, I have been patient, and I try to use discernment to make sure that what I bring you is actual news. Now, I do an opinion show, obviously, 2 hours a day, and this is part of what's in my opinion show window. But at FetcherNews.com, we try to, when we go after news, we try to see, hey, does it meet the criteria of what what is real news opposed to fake news? And I think last night this was news. I left there last night. I know it's an attorney, Dustin J. Kettle, that's from Alabama. I know it's an attorney trying to get people to sign up. Show this guy here again, Sam, the second one. Thank you. This is one. They started signing up last night. The room was full, complaining about their speeds. One customer raised their hand and said that when they called TDS, and now I have not spoke to anybody at TDS's office, and they have an opportunity to respond to this, and we will reach out to them, okay, because this just happened last night. But this one individual raised their hand and said, hey, when we call TDS and complain, they said, you would never be able to afford, you can't afford the internet if we take the money necessary to upgrade it to what you want. We can't do that, okay? So anyhow, last night they started signing people up for this lawsuit against TDS. I took a bunch of notes. I'm going to get further into it today. It was an action meeting. So in 2 areas, they've had over 150 people. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of people in. If 80 people showed up last night, this is going to blow up in this area. But what I want to do is I wanted to tell you that, and I'll look it up after Carla's Corner and I'll come back. But don't let, we have some things that have to happen here in the state of Georgia. It's time to stop this. I've listened to, and I think you guys know out there, our state senator, Steve Gooch, which I consider a friend of the show, a friend at FetcherNews.com, but State Senator Steve Gooch put a lot of time in last year listening in several town hall meetings to rural internet problems and complaints. I know House Speaker David Ralston has put the rural, I forget the name, Sam, I know you're not good just coming up, but the rural commission he put together that's going to be going, he said he better not even catch them in Atlanta, a committee to study rural, the economy in rural Georgia and things that need done. And internet, I have pushed both of them twice on this question. So we need some changes in Georgia. You need changes where you're at. Here's my takeaway. Don't believe any of them, and I'm sorry to say that to anybody out there. Don't believe a politician. Don't do it. Don't believe a communication company. Don't do it. Don't believe your telecommunication company. Don't do it. Don't believe a one of them when they say there's not money available, okay? They cannot afford to do it, all right? Don't let a one of them tell you that, because there's nothing about that true. If they wanted to, because they get your payment every month in rural America, in your internet payment, they get your payment every month, and you can't. They have locks on these areas, and you can't say, hey, you can't say, oh, well, I'm going to cancel you if you don't, do a better job, or I don't like the internet, I'm going to cancel and go with somebody. You can't do that in rural America. If you're in a big city, you could call 7 different providers in the big city, right? But if you're in rural America, you have one provider, period, and you don't like it, too bad. And it doesn't matter how many people sign up, they keep taking people on and taking people on the internet, their system, knowing they can't provide internet for the people that they already cover. Don't accept it. I'm going to check into this further, because I was listening to this meeting and I'm thinking, well, let me hear everything. But when I found out about Rural Connect America, and then when I went yesterday and actually watched in rural America Blue Ridge EMC with fiber, I got very upset. It's 8:23. We will stay on that story. If you'd like to help me investigate, I don't think we stop on this. I don't think we stop. I don't think we stop till everybody in rural America gets the damn internet speed that they deserve. I don't care where you live. Well, you might live way out, in the way outs. You people in the way outs out there, over the ridge. If you live over the ridge, sorry, can't help you. Remember when you went over the ridge and you lost your radio signal? Some of you down in the bottom. So if you live down in the bottom, I don't know what we can do. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show, the voice of rural America. We're going to have Carla in here in just a minute. We had a great time this past weekend at the Apple Blossom Festival. We're going to see if she has recovered. That's a lot of work. Carla takes that on. That is her project, the Apple Blossom, and it is a lot of work, so we're going to see if she has recovered on that. At 9 o'clock, I'm going to give a shout out to 2 young men. I'm going to give. We're going to try to do some more of this every single day. So when you shout out to 2 young men that have been accepted into the Naval Academy, we're going to do that at 9 o'clock. Also, the 10 federal judges. Has anybody, this morning, if you get up and you look at the news, it's, we find out Jimmy Kimmel obviously is going to rewrite the health care bill. Thank you, Jimmy, for crying on national TV. And now our health care will be called the Jimmy Kimmel Care. Sally Yates is now a star, making of a star. We'll talk about that at 9 o'clock. The making of the star, Sally Yates. All you're hearing is General Flynn, Trump, White House. Give me the White House was notified twice, just that picture, and we'll do it. The White House was notified twice. I have a picture there. There's Sally Yates. She says the White House, the Trump White House, was warned twice about General Flynn. So now the New York Times wants to know why there was a gap in 19 minutes 19 days before Flynn was fired or whatever. Clapper and Yates, there's a real combination, right? Clapper and Yates. So I'm going to take a break. It's 8:25. Hey, wait a minute, Sam. Before we go, we never, obviously we're in North Georgia. Oh, can you see my carrots on the camera? Oh, I got to hold it. I've got carrots. What the heck? What's wrong?
You can't see them until you pick them up.
What's wrong with having a carrot or two? I mean, if Pepe Le Pew can be here, where's Pepe Le Pew? Didn't I tell you to find? Where is Pepe? There's Pepe Le Pew right on the table. I love it. Pepe Le Pew's right on the table. Oh, that skunk. He's a skunk. Anyhow, in North Georgia, we never want to disappoint the wine lovers. I mean, I'm telling you, if you're in North Georgia, we want to make sure we share with all you wine lovers. What is this thing? Wine and what is that? What is that, Sam? Can you read that? I can't see it, but read it to the folks. Tell them what that is.
There's a wine and fudge pairing at North Star Emporium on Friday, May 12th. It is from 5:30 till 7:30, and they are going to be tasting different local wines from the local vineyards paired with their homemade fudge.
How can you go wrong with that? Where is it? North Star, what is that?
North Star Emporium. It's on the square in downtown Illinois.
Downtown. How can you go wrong with that? Homemade fudge. Hey, does this wine go with this fudge? No, but let's mix it up. Next thing you know, you've had 5 glasses of wine and 10 pieces of fudge. Can't go wrong with that.
Are you
that is on our
wait for
website.
Carla to talk about stuff in LJ?
Who let her do that? Oh, Sam can't talk about stuff? Sam, you're out. Wow, Carla come in and took a...
Let her. Obviously.
Let's take a break and see if Carla can come in here and tell us what's happening in LJ in just a minute. We'll be back right after these brief messages with Carla's Corner.